Yes, your man gets personal. Won't you have your fun? Yes, your man gets personal. Won't you have your fun? Just come on to Fry Point Mama Bell House all night long. Yeah, I got women Vicksburg and clean on into Tennessee. Yes, I got women Vicksburg and clean on into Tennessee. Yeah, but my 5-point rider now hops all over me. Now I ain't gonna stay no color but a front teeth is crowned with gold. Ain't gonna stay no color but a front teeth crowned with gold. Ah, she got a mortgage on my body, lean on my soul. Now I'm going down to Rosedale, I'm gonna take my rider by my side. Yes, I'm going down to Rosedale, I'm gonna take my rider by my side. Lord, we can still Bell House, baby, 'cause it's on the riverside. Yes, you can squeeze my lemon till the juice runs down my leg. You know what I'm talking about. Yes, you can squeeze my lemon, the juice runs down my leg. Yeah, but I'm going back to Chattanooga if I be rocking to my head.
Man, that is some hot stuff. Hey, thank you guys so much for watching a special episode of the Main Stage Music Weekly live stream. I am Brad, your host, and I'll tell you what, today we have got a special guest, which you've already enjoyed a little bit of, and that is our own vintage American songster, Lon Eldridge. Let's hear it for Lon. Yeah, exactly.
Happy to be here.
It's not quite as daunting when you're dealing with a live stream. Now, first of all, we want to thank you guys so much for watching tonight and following us. Maybe if you get the camera back on me, hey, that's awesome. You know, we have to thank our technical supervisor over there. He's right on top of it all the time. So that being said, we want your comments, we want your feedback, and we want any kind of questions or whatnot, your thoughts, feelings on what you're hearing tonight. So, because this episode is really all about focusing on the talent and the amazing gifts and music that we have here in our area. And so tonight we're focusing on Lon. Now, I know that Lon has been playing in our area for, golly bum, longer than he hain't, okay? He has been playing pretty much every style of music that I remember when Lon actually played rock and roll. I mean, it just to let you know how long I've known the guy. So now you've been in the Chattanooga area really your entire life.
Let's just say. I grew up in Ray County, in Spring City, and then I moved down to Hamilton County in 2006, I think it was.
Wow.
So I've been here
Nearly
since
20 years.
Since then, yeah.
Yeah. Now, your style, I know it kind of, I'll tell you, when I first got to know him, he wasn't playing this kind of cool, bluesy, ragtime kind of stuff. And then it's like a little bit of time went by. I think there was a trip to Clarksdale, Mississippi. Some sort of soul selling happened. And is that kind of what happened? You went to a crossroads and...
Well, I was working at a summer camp at the time, and the maintenance guy played a resonator guitar. And he introduced me to Robert Johnson and Son House and Buka White, Charlie Patton, all the old blues masters. And I had never heard that stuff before, and I was wondering, where the music that I was listening to in high school, like some grunge rock and some 60s and 70s rock, and I was really into the Beatles, still am into the Beatles.
Oh yeah, who's not?
And but I was kind of starting to wonder, it's like, well, where did this music come from? It didn't just fall out of the sky one day. And that gave me the answer. It's like rock music came from rock and roll came from the blues.
Oh no doubt. Absolutely.
So I had never heard this, like the roots of rock music before, and it just kind of grabbed me by the collar and shook me, and I was never the same after that. And I told Marty, I was like, you gotta show me something, like just some little slide guitar lick, whatever. And that was the jumping off point.
That's so cool, man. Now, I know that you really have taken the style that I know that a lot of people who have enjoyed Lon's music around the area. I remember one time, now Lon and I also, besides being real friends, we're also Facebook friends. And I remember a long time ago, Lon probably doesn't even remember this, but someone said, oh, hey, here's something you'll really like, and they shared a Bon Iver link. And you're like, why do people show me this stuff? I'm not into this pop schlock. I don't like this stuff. Now, me being kind of a music nerd, I understood what you were doing. Definitely, we'll say turn of last century. I would use the term ragtime, okay? Yeah. So, you got to think the icons of ragtime are guys like Scott Joplin, and of course, Robert Johnson was actually on the tail end of that. He wasn't ragtime at all. Definitely 1930s and later part of the 30s. But a lot of the stuff that you were influenced by was stuff that was popular in the teens of last century through the 20s. And then from there kind of blossomed some other stuff. So what got you into that style of music?
Well, I kind of just worked my way backwards once I discovered, the traditional blues. And, some of it was, to use a music theory term, like, your standard blues, like 1-4-5 type of stuff. But there was also these chords. I'm like, that doesn't quite sound like blues. What is that? And so there was a lot of gray area. There was definitely stuff I could call blues, but there was this other stuff, and I'm like, well, that sounds kind of jazzy to me, or that sounds more like something I don't know about. And so I started working my way back through the decades, and the internet was a very, very helpful tool. I didn't have that until I was like way out of high school, and then YouTube came on the scene, and it opened up just like an insane like amount of information to me. Yeah, I'm like,
I know kung fu.
Yeah. So that was eye-opening, and I discovered that all of these quote-unquote blues musicians that I loved were actually what would best be described as a songster. If they showed up to a party, they would play all kinds of music, and it was just whatever that the crowd was into. be it blues or some boogie woogie or ragtime or popular tunes of the time, you name it, they could do it. And so I kind of describe myself as a vintage American songster. And so I play a lot of stuff from, the early 20th, late 19th century traditions across lots of different genres and styles.
Which, I think it's
which is way different than what you just heard. This is
So
this is a new project.
So this is a new project.
Yeah.
Okay. So now, if you've seen Lon in the past, traditionally you'd see him with a resonator style guitar. And for people who don't know that term, resonator is an all-encompassing term to say what you all would call a dobro. Okay, but really it refers to a steel-bodied guitar that has a cone. And of course, Lon is very well known for his perfectly coiffed handlebar mustache. And hey, pardon me, boy, is that the Chattanooga Choo Choo?
I think it is.
I think it is. So, but that being said, he has a new project. Now, it is called Beef Bone. Now, of course, beef bone, when I think of a beef bone, I think of something that is raw, full of protein, hearty, but of course also unkempt and slightly dangerous. You could get, like salmonella or whatever kind of raw meat poisoning you get. But
that's the name of the first album, actually. Raw meat poisoning. No,
raw meat poisoning. Well, that's awesome. Now, that being said, it's like with his new project, you definitely encompass a lot more of that rootsy and almost fundamental blues style that you guys got to enjoy. The first track that he played there, nothing ragtime about it. It definitely kind of pulled a lot of that. Almost if like Mississippi John Hurt actually was gonna, plug in instead of just playing some old junky harmony.
So for the Beef Bone project, I've drawn a lot more influence from something else that I love, which is like hill country blues. From the hill country of Mississippi, artists like R.L. Burnside, and fellas like that, and Mississippi Fred McDowell. The name Beef Bone is actually from a quote from Mississippi Fred McDowell. There's a great album called "I Do Not Play No Rock and Roll," and it's from the intro of that album where Fred McDowell says, he's like, "I first got this style from a beef bone, you understand." My uncle, when I was a little boy living in the country, he took a beef bone, would come out of a steak. He put it on his little finger. He filed it down with a file. I put it on my ring finger, you understand? And he goes on this whole monologue about how he first learned about slide guitar from his uncle when he was a little boy. And so when I was listening through that, and I was kind of getting ideas for material for Beef Bone, I was like, that's the name. Like, it just kind of dropped on me like a sack of hammers.
No, it's great.
So
absolutely. Now, a couple of, I guess, questions that, first of all, we welcome y'all's comments. We welcome your all's feedback. So feel free to, hey, there we go, Back in Black. So feel free to let us know. So we got some messages already. Greg Sluter, such talent. I completely agree with you. That's what the show is all about, showcasing talent that we have right here, okay? That, let's just say, is not getting the recognition that it deserves, okay? So that's why we're doing this. And then, of course, Brian Osborne says, love the stash. Of course, who doesn't love a handlebar mustache? Other than my wife, who made me shave mine off, even though... Lon and I actually have an iconic picture together at a special event.
Was it at JJ's?
At JJ's, called Mustache Friday. And guess what? If you had a natural, full plumage of handlebar, you got free drinks. So my mustache was actually a professional mustache because it actually was paid for doing what it did. And yet, my wife has a strict, almost authoritarian anti-handlebar mustache policy when it comes to our marriage. And so then the next comment is, of course, does he make you miss your stash? Well, Lon and I have so many great mustache stories that how could it not make me miss my mustache? And mine was much more Stalin-esque. than Lon's, you know.
Let's go with Sam Elliott. How about that?
Yeah, you know, Sam. Well, you know, and I'm a huge Sam Elliott fan too. There's not many Sam Elliott fans or movies that I don't care for, including Roadhouse, where he was, you know.
What was his character's name? Dalton.
Well,
in that,
Dalton,
in Roadhouse.
Yeah, and he got killed, which, you know. But I thought he did great in Parks and Rec when he was in that, you know.
Big Lebowski.
Oh, come on. You know, dude.
We could go on and on.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But that's not what we're here for. We're here to talk about and listen to this amazing talent that we have here with Lon. Now, we're going to have you play another song. But before that, I want to let everybody know, especially if you're here in the Chattanooga area. Well, first of all, if you're not in the Chattanooga area, because I can already see we have out-of-state viewers going on here, you can definitely check your music out online, right? You are on...
I'm on Bandcamp. So if you just type in loneldridge.bandcamp.com, that'll take you to the page where I have like all of my music digitally.
Cool.
But also through my website, which is just loneldridge.com, you can order compact discs, and I have a Beefbone cassette.
It is amazing.
Yeah.
By the way,
and if you don't have a cassette player, it also comes with a download code included. So.
Oh yeah. So you got to get the cassette, the Beefbone cassette, because it is. Matter of fact, I'm buying one. You just tell me how much it's sold.
Yeah.
So Bandcamp, and of course you are on Facebook, obviously, and YouTube. I assume you have a channel as well. And so right now, if you guys are on there, just type that stuff in, because you need to also know that he regularly plays here in the area. Okay, so first one was for people outside of the area, now for people in the area. He's playing regular places you can go in. This is not just like some big venue, whatever. So I know we talked about Cherry Street Tavern, you'd played it, but you also have a show going on later on this month at
Barking Legs Theater.
I love Barking Legs.
It is one of my favorite, if not my favorite, venue to play at in Chattanooga. It's a listening room type atmosphere, so people really come to listen to the music, and I love to interact with audiences, and it's so good. I love it.
Now, see, I'll tell you, I like to let my family experience stuff they've never experienced before. And so Barking Legs has been an invaluable source of experience. So I took my son and wife and daughter to their first freestyle noise jazz concert.
Was it one of the ones in the lobby, or was it in the
No.
main
It
room?
was in the primary.
Okay.
Yeah, where the performer, who by the way was really talented. If you want to be on the show and you're watching this, let me know. But he used every sort of technique outside of actual traditional guitar technique to play the guitar, including the use of marital aids. And this is true. I know you're laughing. This is true. We'll just say that, the traditional vibrating marital aid that some people can be used to trigger a guitar, then through 18 different delay pedals and a Digitech whammy, this kind of amalgam of noise. And my wife, who dressed herself up very pretty, was stuck right in the middle aisle, impossible to leave, and had to enjoy the entire 45-minute program. And I have to say, it was one of my favorite moments in life. It was great. Definitely. And my kids are thinking, this is what life is, is variety. And I am a huge fan of that kind of stuff. Jim Hallengren says, "Hey, Lon."
Oh, hey,
whatever.
Jim.
How introspective. Thank you, Jim, for that. I'm just kidding. All right, so let's hear some more Beefbone. Do you guys want to hear some more Beefbone? So let's hear some more Beefbone.
Kill that old gray mule, burn down that white man's barn. Kill that old gray mule, burn down that white man's barn. I didn't mean no trouble, I did not mean no harm. Trouble in my babe, and I've been buked and scorned. Trouble in my bed, I've been buked and scorned. Oh, it seems like I've been rambling since the day I was born. Some people tell me these old blues ain't bad. Some people tell me these old blues ain't bad. Lord, it's the worst old feeling that I most ever had. Kill that old gray mule, burn down that white man's barn. I kill that old gray mule, why burn down that white man's barn. I didn't mean no trouble, I did not mean no harm.
Son! Now that is what I call pepper pudding, because that's hot and sweet at the same time. Now, we've got all sorts of people watching, loving this stuff. And please, make sure that you take care of this guy. Go like his page, follow his stuff, go see his gigs. What this show is all about is focusing on these guys, okay? This is why we at Mainstage Music do what we do. We are a tool store, okay? We are a craft store. We are all about supplying the people who are going out and doing this. And so what we're trying to do every month is focus on a real person that's going out and doing this kind of stuff. And so we want you guys to go out and support them. I'm sick and tired, and I will not abide, but anybody in Ray County going, there ain't nothing to do around here. There ain't nothing. Let me tell you something. Ray County has more paying live professional music venues per capita than Chattanooga does, okay? And I know we're going to get Lon out and do some more Ray County venue, homecoming, if you will, because we definitely need. So if you're a business as well and you want, Lon or Beef Bone to perform at your place, you can message me, you can message Lon. Either way, we'll make it happen. So, okay, so now that being said, we got some more comments coming in. One from Brian says, double neck polka dot SG. Buddy Guy-ish on steroids. Sounds amazing and original. Now, Brian, I love you. but Buddy Guy is from Chicago, and this style is from deep in the heart of Mississippi. Okay.
These polka dots are also from deep in the heart of the office supply section at Walmart.
Now, I was going to ask you about the polka dots, actually, because I know what Brian's saying. I'm a huge Buddy Guy fan, by the way. And, of course, I'm just funning with you, buddy. But was the polka dots kind of like a little bit of a tribute to Buddy, or was it just fun?
Yeah,
okay.
Sure, but also, like, I wanted to kind of distinguish myself from the Jimmy Page double neck SG, which is, solid red, gorgeous guitar. I think my end goal is to have this painted like cerulean blue.
Yes.
Because, I've seen red ones and white ones, black ones. I've never seen a blue one. At least anybody like ultra
you're right.
famous.
I don't think I've ever seen a blue.
And blue's my favorite color. So
well, there you go. And cerulean blue, for all of the uninitiated, is kind of a little bit richer version of a robin's egg blue. So you must be like a Tar Heels fan. That's more of a baby Sonic blue, isn't it?
Yeah,
I'm trying to think cerulean.
I would
definitely
say
more.
It's kind of the color of like painter's tape, but a little more vivid.
Okay, yeah, softer. Yeah, because we got some blue tape. Hey, being gaffed right here on your microphone. So, but anyways, okay. So, of course, we got a lot. You're gonna always get the love to hear this. You're amazing. You probably have to beat the fans off with a stick, don't you? Where's your stick? I don't see like. Whoa, wait a minute. You don't have a cudgel?
Right here.
Oh, I was gonna say you don't have a cudgel handle. Hey, but anyways, oh, here we go. Look at this potential gig, and potential team up gig, because playing with Lon is something my younger brothers did, but I never had the chance to. So our good friend Amy. Who is actually the managing director at the the Houston Glass Museum. Amy's phenomenal. So we've always provided music for their little summertime party, and so she goes, "Hey, summertime party," and I'm like, "That sounds like a fun time." Plus, you get to hang out with some other chums, because last year we had Clayton was there. Adam Newport, do you remember Adam? So Adam plays drums with me. And so hey, Amy, I like the way you think. And of course, you got our friend Irv Berner was there last year, and so you get to play for friends. So see, Amy's parties are the coolest. This is how you find cool stuff. Our friend Kyle, I don't know exactly how the pronunciation of this word, but it's
onomatopoeia.
He's digging it, absolutely. Now, I kind of wanted to talk a little bit about, playing the music and stuff. You've got quite a rig here, okay? So I tried to do a little creative camera work so you guys could see the level of complexity that he's done here. So obviously you saw the double nut guitar, but he has a kick drum. He has a tambourine that's mounted with a kick pedal, in addition to the guitar. Now, with that, obviously you're enjoying what sounds like a full band, but really it's just you. Now, I've heard of people doing this kind of stuff before, but what was your inspiration in kind of getting all this together?
So when I first moved to Hamilton County, I didn't know a soul. This was back in 2006, I reckon. And so I started getting on the open mic scene, and I would go out busking. And I quickly found that like just being out on the street with like an acoustic guitar and sitting there and not really engaging with anybody didn't get you a lot of tips. So it occurred to me, I was like, okay, I need something that gets people's attention.
Yeah.
So resonator guitar, obviously. And then I devised a plan where I would sit on a suitcase and I would turn a kick pedal around backwards and hit it with my heel. And that would be my bass drum, and then I would have the tambourine over here. I didn't have a kick pedal, I just had it like around my shoe.
Yeah.
And then I would have on it. Yeah. And then I bent like a clothes hanger, and I duct taped a kazoo on there.
There you go.
That was my horn section. I'll spare y'all that travesty tonight.
Oh no, that's amazing.
I'll just say a little bit of kazoo goes a long way. But, and I found that busking was a good way to practice all of that. And it certainly got people's attention, and my tips went up exponentially.
Yeah.
Because it was way more attention grabbing, and people really enjoyed it. And so that is kind of where this evolved from. And so, and also some of the material that I had written way back then, I rediscovered on an old hard drive some demo recordings, and I said, wait a minute, hold on, I want to dust these off. I like where I was going with that, but I just didn't have the skills at the time.
Sure.
And so here we are 15 plus years later, and I'm digging up those old recordings and saying, hey, I need to break out maybe the one-man band thing again, but do it bigger.
Well, I'll tell you.
And that's kind of where it came from.
It sounds amazing. And I'm going to make a guess here, okay? Just saying. You've probably not had too many issues with the drummer.
No.
See, now that's one thing that traditionally you'll hear with bands like, oh my God, the drummer, he won't stop. I'm trying to tune, and he's over there
noodling,
riffing and noodling around, and I can't get him to stop. But no, I mean, but I'll tell you, it's brilliant because, part of being a performer, okay, like when you tell someone, oh, I went and saw a show, right? Well, we were talking about this earlier, we're showmen, I mean, if people just wanted music, they could pop a CD in or listen to the radio, right? I mean, there's any number of places to just get music. If you just wanted a show, I guess you could watch fireworks or something like that. But really with the live music, you're kind of getting both, right? Well, you should. So you want the music and the performance aspect of it. But I feel, and you know what, feel free to let me, to throw the hate my way if you disagree with this, okay? But it's our job to help put on a little bit more of the show. In other words, are you dressed, are you presented looking different than the people that are in the audience? Do they know that you are the person on stage? And I think that what you're doing here is really cool because it gives people something to watch and to tell their friends about later. It's an experience, to see you jamming on the guitar or the drum, and creating something that you're not seeing everywhere, and of course it works, man, it sounds great. Hey, if nothing else, it's a great inspiration to all y'all who are trying to maybe up your game a little bit. Think about the show. What does the audience think about when they look at you? I mean, look at what Lon has done here, crafting, your own little pseudonym, and
today a friend of mine, Laura, she said, I like to think of Beef Bone as your Rona persona.
Hey, I dig it.
Trademark.
Dig it.
It's true. I mean, it kind of evolved out of the past 2 years of frustration and emotions, and it's kind of a cathartic release.
And that's a good
some emotions.
That's a good segue to another just kind of topic. So art, generally speaking, is something that obviously is created by artists. Okay, but we were talking about this one day, just conjecturally, talking about how Vincent van Gogh, we might enjoy his paintings, but I don't think anyone would really want to hang out with the guy. Okay?
Maybe Don McLean, but anybody.
It's kind of like, he's obviously got substance abuse issues and cutting his ears off and all this.
You've just described most of my friend group.
So now that being said, though, it's like, why do we enjoy certain art that we do, especially the stuff that really moves us? A lot of it is because of pain. It's brought out by people's unique pain, their experiences, things of that nature. Okay, I mean, rarely have I seen a piece of artwork that's been, renowned as, I have a fully vested 401k. I mean, nobody wants to see a painting of that, but it's like, hey, here's an out of focus picture of a homeless person under a bridge. Oh, let's buy a coffee table book with that in it. So it's like a lot of art that moves us from other people's suffering. So the last 2 years, now, I mean, albeit I am very thankful that I was not stricken with this terrible plague that the entire earth has been dealing with. And I'm going to take a guess. I haven't heard anything about you being completely whatever, but it's like we've had to deal with the blowback of other people dealing with the loss of friends, employment, livelihood, family members or even friends who had family members and dealing with their grief kind of secondhand. Did anything help you with your art that, in other words, did we have kind of a Griffin moment where from the ashes, was it the Griffin or the Phoenix? I can't remember.
Phoenix.
Oh, Phoenix. There we go. You have a Phoenix moment where from the ashes we've gotten a creative jolt. Because I know that hopefully, knock on, I've got wood right here.
Hey, there it is, right behind you.
Knock on wood, we don't have any, it's going downhill. I mean, we're not as, worried about it as we were.
It doesn't rule our day-to-day existence.
But there was a time when it was very concerning.
Yeah.
Did any of this kind of stuff trouble you in a way that helped you create the art that you're doing now?
I mean, sure, yeah. And also another thing that was kind of a good thing is that because I was stuck at the house so much, it gave me time to woodshed. It gave me time to think about things and try things. I mean, even outside of music, like I started a bolo tie business.
Yeah, I've really enjoyed
wearing one of those tonight. And then I also designed a board game, which I'm still play testing right now, and that's going really well. But as far as music, like I'm so glad I had music there. And I was so thankful for the support that I got through it all, from my fan base and from strangers and from, nonprofits in Chattanooga, both emotionally, financially, and all of that. And that was so encouraging. But really, like, this project that you're hearing tonight was really born out of rage and malice.
Hey, I dig rage. I can deal with that.
Yeah, if you know me, even on a surface level, you probably know that I'm fairly even keeled.
You're very chill. Lon equals chill.
Not perceived cool. as a hateful or angry person.
You're not. Off
but I had those emotions, and it's like, well, it's okay to be angry, Lon. It's okay to have rage, but it's like, well, how do you let it affect you constructively? And what do you do with it? It's okay to have those emotions. Now, what do you do? How do you react to it? How do you use that energy? Do you put it into something constructive, or do you let it destroy you?
Or others.
Yeah, or others.
We've got enough violence and whatever. And so I think what you're talking about is something that's so important to talk about. We all have anger issues. Everybody does. I mean, who's not been mad at the guy who cuts you off in traffic or what? But what Lon's talking about is he funneled that natural human emotion that we all have into something creative versus something destructive.
Yeah, and music is my go-to medium for that.
Oh, yeah.
Now, for other people, it's painting or you fill in the blank. But for me, it's music. And the idea that, like we were talking about earlier, like great art, no matter if it's a painting or music, there's something that other people can latch onto, and a great song, is something that people can identify with. They're like, oh, I've felt that before, and so if my music in some small way can help in someone's healing, then I feel like I've done my job. And you don't always hear about that or know about it at all 99% of the time, but occasionally someone will come up and tell you, and that means so much.
Oh no, I mean, it's huge. Well, let's heal a little bit, and would you treat us with one more song?
Sure.
So we're going to do another song, but what I want to really encourage y'all to do, again, I can't encourage you enough, is we need to support these artists who are really telling our story, okay? And so go search for Lon Eldridge on Facebook, on YouTube, on Bandcamp. Like him, follow him, check out a gig. Don't be afraid. Most of the places that I know that especially people who are 40s and above are like, I don't want to go out. It's past 8 o'clock. Let me tell you something. Hey, let me tell you something. I resemble that remark as well. Now, that being said, I know the places that Lon is playing, you can take your wife there. You do not have to be threatened. There's nothing threatening about them. They're great, welcoming places. There are so many wonderful venues in Chattanooga. Check them out. support live music, support Lon. Okay, but let's hear another Beef Bone song. Let's hear about some COVID rage being constructively funneled.
I got the perfect one.
Perfect. Let's hear it.
So this one's not even finished yet, but I'll do my best. Don't need to talk about what you don't know. Everything around me trying to bring me down. I just keep getting right up off of the ground now. Oh, no, no, no. You better leave my business alone. 'Cause you don't need to take a piece of what you don't own. Don't need to talk about what you don't know. You don't need to talk about what you don't know. No, you don't need to talk about what you don't know. No, you don't need to talk about what you don't know.
Thank you so much, Lon, for coming on out today. Make sure you guys go and check out Lon Eldridge on Facebook, on YouTube, everywhere you can. Thank you so much for joining us for another artist evening. Hey, we appreciate you guys. Have a blessed evening, and we'll see you in a couple of weeks. Appreciate you.